Hey Basement Collective, thank you for watching another Basement Collective video. Today we have something different for you. We are going to be filming a building video. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how I'm going to put together a resin model. Now what we are going to put together is Kromlech, as you know, sent us some stuff, as well as other sponsors, but Kromlech certainly has some great stuff, and they sent us a Orc plane, which looks similar to this, so very cool. Now, this is a new format for me, so let me know what you guys think about it, how it goes, and so forth. And, you know, I want to do this well, and I want to do the format well, and I've never done a build video like this. We got a better tripod, we got this, and thank you. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to take a look at the tools we'll need. Now, I'm not going to pin this model. This model is not big enough that it requires pinning for me. You might want to do that, but I'm going to do it a different way. First of all, you're going to need your X-Acto knife, pretty standard X-Acto knife right there. Then we got your clippers. Any clippers will do. That's just to remove big chunks of flashing. Next we have our trusty green stuff. This is what I'm going to use instead of pinning. You could use this, but that's just green stuff. I think it's from an Australian company, Back to Basics. Next we got our file, just a standard little file there. Secondly, we have some super glue. This is hot stuff. I love this glue, very good quality. Finally, we have some water. That's just water. This is I got this from China, AliExpress. Squirt bottles. I use it for my airbrush, but we got that. And then finally, a little cup to put some water in. It's always good to have a little cup and green stuff. And then you got your paper towel, of course, couple sheets of that. Okay, so let's take a look. First of all, the biggest joint we have. Now, there's no instructions with this. It is pretty straightforward. It is this. So that's what we're going to do first. Now we're going to see, we got a little bit of flashing right there, a little bit of flashing right there, but other than that, let's take a look at the model. There's no other major sources of flashing. No, Kromlech did a really good job in this cast. I'm quite happy with it, and I'm certainly going to get this painted. I'll probably send it off to a painter and put it on my display shelf. I don't play Orcs, but when I do get an Orc army, this will be eventually on it. So I'm going to speed up through this. You're going to listen to some music, but first, actually, you know what? I'm not going to speed that. First of all, let's take our X-Acto knife and clear any of the big parts of flashing right here. So always be careful when using an X-Acto knife. That's pretty much all clean. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the file to that, and then this part right here. Of course, I'm not the best hobbyer, but you know, I get the job done. But that's that. Okay, now what we do is I'm going to take this, and you just file, honestly. You want to file one way. So I will fast forward this, and we're going to get filing.
Are you shaking the camera? Are you shaking the camera?
No. So let's see. Now I'm just going to see if it's a flush fit yet. And it certainly is. Okay, so we don't really need to file any more than that. It's a perfectly flush fit, as you can see. There's no gap in between the model. So this is what I do. So what I do is I'm going to mix up some green stuff. Now if you're new to green stuff, all you do is you know, this is where I use the water. Always use water when mixing up green stuff. I'm not doing any green stuff sculpting or anything along that lines. What'd you do with the lid to this, Irvin?
I didn't put it on there.
Okay then, well, there's no lid, but that's okay. So I always dip my knife blade in a bit of water, and then the green stuff just cuts perfectly, like that. If you don't use water when you're using green stuff, your stuff's gonna get caught. It's just take my advice and use the water. And there we go. Now dip your fingers in water, and then you just mix it up. Now you want to make sure it's a complete green. It's green. There's no chunks of white, no chunks of blue. It's just a complete green. It's called green stuff for a reason. So a bit more water, and let's get mixing this up. Now I do want to thank all the sponsors that have been sending us stuff, and we do have one more video to put up soon, but Kromlech certainly went out of the way to send us some good quality stuff. Now, this is just one of the items they sent us. If you want to see more of a review of their stuff, they sent us some other items. Of course, we're going to be building, and in fact, we're going to be doing a giveaway soon, which we're probably going to announce next week, where you could win some of the stuff Kromlech sent to us, along with other stuff. But certainly, if you're looking for orcs, anything, they got a lot of Space Wolf stuff, a lot of Imperial Guard, a lot of 40k-esque items. Check out Kromlech. There'll be a link in the description below. They're great guys to work with, and I certainly hope we can go forward working more with them. So I'm just going to look. Still not perfectly mixed. Let's just do it again. So eventually you're going to have this, right? Complete green. There's no yellow. See if we can get that to focus. No yellow, no blue. Perfect. So we got our green stuff. We're going to put it right there. Put a bit of water so it doesn't stick to the board. Next, what we do is we take our two parts. I always take a glue. Now, you want to be careful with super glue. If it sticks to your hands, if you get on any hands and you touch them hard, you're going to leave a fingerprint. So, if you ever get on your hands, you always want to rub your hands really together quickly. So what you're going to do is you're going to get rid of that stuff. Your hands are going to stick together, and it's going to get rid of the glue. So when you touch it, the glue's going to be on your hands. You're probably going to get caked up hands, but that's it. So what I always do is I put a bit of glue on one side. If I'm not pinning, I put a bit of glue on one side. Put that down. We put a bit of glue on the other side. And then we take a bit of green. So we don't need much. You don't want enough. You don't want so much that the gap, that's going to cause a little gap. I flatten out. I put it right there. And I just flat it out some more. See, you got a bit of green stuff. Got a bit of glue in my hand, so I'm just going to do that. And then you take this, and you slide her in together. Oh, we'll slide it upside down. So, you want to make sure you get a nice firm press. Now, see, there's a bit too much green stuff in there, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, take my trusty little file here, and get some of that out of there. So, we got a napkin for a reason. Boom. And let's put a bit more glue in there. And let's try that again. You know, green stuff has a pretty good curing time. I'm not sure exactly what the curing time is, but it's certainly good enough that you can do that. So we're getting a better hold this time, so we want to make sure you get it nice and tight together. Flatten out that green stuff on the inside. So there we go. So that's going to dry. And green stuff usually takes about 8 hours to properly dry. If you want to do some sanding and whatnot, you might want to wait to the 24 hours. But certainly we have this piece together now. Now, I'm not going to, but if this was a big Forge World resin kit, what I would do is I would wrap this in elastics and try and, you know, make sure nothing moves. But that's pretty solid. I don't think that's going anywhere. We can set that aside for now, and we can work on the pilot. So the same thing. This is quite amazing. See, we got a bit of flashing right there up at the top. I'm not sure if you can see that. But all we do is we take our little clippers here. You clip that away. And then our file. Now, I was told to file in one direction.
Not on the video.
I seem to file in multiple directions. I'm not too worried. But that's all we do. So, there we go. That's done. Now, I'm going to look for additional flashing we can get rid of. That's not supposed to be on the model. No, that's pretty good. Now I'm just going to test it. I want to be careful with the model I just built. When I test it, make sure it fits in perfectly. It's level, very good. There's no gaps. So let's go ahead and do that. So what we'll do is we'll take a bit of green stuff at the bottom. We need just a little bit right there, like that. I'm not using enough water. Then we'll take some hot stuff or some super glue. Put it down there like that. And then we put our green stuff right in there on the super glue. There we go. And then we're going to take a bit of hot stuff here. Actually, a lot more super glue like that. Boom. And we just stick it in. Press down real good. Make sure it's not going anywhere. And there we go. So that is the Orc pilot in. Now, I'm not sure what other bits are included with this model. I'm pretty sure these would be included. Now, there is no directions, unfortunately. What I'll do is, let me just pull out everything else we got here. In fact, I think, I see, we got some goblins. Those are a different kit. We'll probably be giving these away in a future video. So keep an eye out for those guys. We got the bombs. We're definitely going to need those. And I do apologize if you hear talking in the background. This is an apartment. Oh, some spatial backpacks. Those are awesome. This is an apartment, so there are going to be other people. I can't expect other people to be quiet the whole time. Oh, I think we got his head right here. So I do apologize if there is other talking in the background. Then we got a tail fin. Oh, that I know where that goes. Perfect. What do we have here? A piece for that. Oh, that's cockpit stuff right there, certainly. And then a rocket for that guy. Okay, so here we are. Okay, and their basing they got is really cool. Now this is a plastic base. If I use super glue to put this base together, what's going to happen is it's going to frost. So I actually have some cement. I'm going to but all I'm going to do is some plastic cement. Now it'll glue this together and it won't frost. So we'll be able to put our guy on a little stand like so. So that's what I'm going to do later. Or I guess it goes the other way. And it'll be like that. Awesome. So I'm going to put this off to the side. You're going to see maybe a picture at the end. I'm not 100% sure. But there we go. Oh, we don't need the spatial backpack for now. Okay, so another spatial backpack. So let's go ahead and put this piece on. This is the next piece we can put on. So you're going to see there's a bit of flashing right there. And that's going to hinder me putting it on properly. Or is that flashing? Let's see. 1 second here. Yeah, I believe that's flashing. So all we do is we take our clippers and we just get rid of it. Now there is some detail I've got to be careful. There's some nice little rivets at the bottom there I don't want to remove. So when I take my X-Acto knife, I'm going to be careful. I'm going to go in between the rivets. And I'm not sure if you can see this. But, you know, I'm just going to be careful not to get rid of the rivets. And I'm going to go between the rivets and then between the rivets. And there you go. So let's zoom in a bit. See if this works. Oh. Oh wait, here we go. So now let's go ahead and see how this fits on. That fits awesomely. So there we go. So all we do now is let's zoom back out. Same thing as before. Just a very small amount of green stuff. Now it's my hands. I gotta wet my hands because I don't want the green stuff to stick to my fingers and mess up. So I'm going to roll it out because it's a longer piece. And then just a bit of glue on one side. The little thing goes in there. Green stuff like so. Bit of glue on the other side. You know what? I'm not a big fan. It's not exactly flush, so what I'm going to do is just give this a bit of a sand. Resin's easy to work with, especially high quality resin. There, that's a lot better. So now I'm going to put the glue on.
Get more dishes.
And you just press it in. So it sits in very well. Okay, so beautiful. The perfect amount of green stuff's in there. I want to get it so there's no gap. And there's going to be a bit of green stuff showing out to the side. I'm not sure if you could see that. But if you can see, 1 second. You can see right there. All I do is it's just gonna dry. I'm gonna take an X-Acto knife, scrape it off. You won't even see that. But so far, this is how we are. So that's easy. It's coming together real easy. Building resin models, even forged wood models. Now, if they're in a resin casting situation, often there is warping. Now, Kromlech's done a great job with this model. I haven't seen any warped parts yet. Warp part means, like, if you look at this wing, it would be bent. Now, resin's great because you can heat it up. Sometimes you can have a heat gun. I just use boiling kettle water, and you put it in the water, you reshape it, you dunk it in cold water. You need to do that as many times. Do little before you do a lot. So don't try and do it all at once. Do a bit, cold water, do a bit cold water. So hot water, cold water. So you're going to reshape it. But that's pretty good. So now let's go ahead and see the next piece we got to put on. So I'm wondering how this goes. I mean, we got these things, which we can put on right here, I am sure. Yeah, so they go on like so. So we can put the rockets on, that's no problem. And then these things are going to go on. You know what, guys? I'm going to pause this video. I have to see. I'm going to take a look on the website, and I'll be right back. So you're not going to see anything, but I'll be right back once I know a bit more. Hey guys, we're back. Sorry about that. Well, you know we're back. I figured it out. It was really easy. I should have just looked at the model. The instructions were really easy, but I'm back and I know what to do. So first of all, let's start with the exhaust pipes. What you gotta do is you gotta take your clippers and clip as close as you can. And then we're gonna take our X-Acto knife and we're just going to get rid of all that flashing. Now there's a bit of mold lines. I'm not sure if you can see right here. Maybe if we zoom in a bit. 1 second here, guys. But right there, yeah, you can see it right there. There's a bit of mold line. So all you do is there are tools for this. I don't use them. What I do is I take the back of my X-Acto knife and I kind of go along it like that. So what I'm doing is I'm scraping the top part of the recess, or I should say the mold line, and I'm making it flush. So eventually I'm scraping a bit of the resin away, and then I just take this and smooth it out. And same thing, it goes up a bit. It's just what happens when you cast with resin, unlike injection molding, is it's a mold, right? So there's two halves of the mold normally. And sometimes either the molds don't line up perfectly or they just shift in the casting. So it's always easy to fix. And injection molding has it too, but Games Workshop,
That's absolutely not how mold works.
Games Workshop and other companies like that have the mold lines always in the same spot. That's how injection mold works. And I think at least how it's worked. I don't know. But let's go ahead. So that guy's pretty much done. And the bottom, let's just give us a bit of a file there. Make it nice and flush. Let's go on to the second one. Same thing, bit of a file. And then mold lines, so we got a bit of a more defined mold line. Right there, you can see. So, oh, sorry guys. Like that, so same thing. You just scrape back of the blade. And just like that, it's gone. This one's going to be a bit more work. Now, with resin, that's always going to be expected. I mean, it's not like there's bad casting or anything. It's just the way, it's just the nature of resin, right? And a bit of filing there, smooth it out. You don't want to go straight because it's a curved edge. And then all simply what happened is this piece goes right here. Like so. And it's glued to that side right there. Then you have that. And likewise, same thing for the other one on this side. Boom. So let's go ahead and glue that. Same thing as last time. So what I'm going to do is put a bit of green stuff. So a bit of glue right here. Bit of glue right here. Now I'm in no way an expert modeler or hobby or anything like that. I just enjoy it. And bit of green stuff like so. Too much. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I did wrong. If I did anything wrong, I'm sure I did something wrong. And just, you know, give me what you would do better. What would you change? And so forth. So got that right there. Same thing with this bit of green stuff. I want to be a good modeler and I want to be a good painter, but you gotta get practice. So, same thing. Let's just see right here. That goes like that. So I gotta put a bit of glue right here on the raised edge. And then, ideally, this goes in like so, and like that, and boom. Got a bit of glue on my hands, so what I'm doing is I don't want to get fingerprints on the model, so I'm making sure it's all gone. I'm rubbing it together, making sure that's not enough. So, we're going to let that dry. Like so. Okay, next one. Same thing. Bit of glue. And I just want to see, and a bit of glue over here as well. What I want to see is where exactly this part meets there. Oh wait, so I know exactly where to put the glue. It's always good to plan out, dry fit, and all that jazz. Right there. Alright, so let's go ahead and glue that. And hold that there for a second, let the glue set, and then there we go. Pretty cool. Those are some wicked exhaust. Wouldn't expect orcs to have nothing less. Okay, next, these things, I'm not going to use any green stuff because it's just a slot. They fit right in. But what I am going to do is fit this file in here. It seems just, you know, conveniently it fits right in there. Just, I think that was the molding point, so we just clean that out. And then so forth. That one's pretty good. Okay, so 4 rockets, 4 holes, simple as we do. We just do this, bit of glue in there. Not too much, we don't want it to seep out, but we want enough to hold it, and then you just slip it onto its little holding point. Bam, there's one done. Let's go to the other one. Now there's 2 skinny rockets, 2 fat rockets. I know orcs wouldn't care, but I want to care, so I'm going to put the 2 skinny rockets close to the inside and the 2 fat rockets close to the outside. Makes the most sense. It's the most aesthetically pleasing. I'm not sure orcs would care too much about aesthetics, but... And I also want to make sure that, you know, they're also up at the same... I wouldn't want one rocket all the way up here and one down here. I want to make sure they're kind of flush. It looks good. I'm not sure orcs would care too much, but I care, so... And then, same thing with the big guys. Like that. Like that. And I'm just going to make sure the backs line up and the fronts are going to be a bit, you know. So the back of each rocket is going to line up. The front's going to be a bit off. So you are going to hear people talking in the background. It's the nature. I could do a voiceover, but I kind of want to do this as I'm building it. Talk about it as I'm building it. So there we are. That is the rocket built. So next, what we have to do is we have the guns. I'm going to leave that there just so the guns can, just so the rockets can dry. The guns are easy enough, like so. Try and, you know, plan out, dry fit, see where the. Don't just cut right away. Kind of take a look. I almost cut the wrong way, so it's a bit of flashing left on the model. Like that. Easy enough to get just the big chunks of flashing off. Then a bit of sanding. Same thing over here. And then they just go right here. Nice little spots for them. It's not that big of a resin piece. I'm not going to use any green stuff. I don't think it needs green stuff. You could use green stuff if you wanted to. I'm not particularly rough on my models. They're either on shelves or in cases being transported somewhere. So I'm not going to use green stuff. You could use green stuff. You could even pin it if you want to. A bit of glue. So you got a bit of glue in my hands because I touched the glue right there. I'm just going to rub my hands together because I don't want to get fingerprints on my models. Don't worry, the glue's it's not toxic. Well, I guess it is toxic, but it's not going to do anything to you. So hold that down for a bit, let it set. You could use accelerant too, which is a little spray. You spray on one piece, the glue, and it secures, but I don't really need that. This glue is great to use. I believe Kromlech also sells glue and accelerant, so when you order these models, if you don't have the glue or the accelerant, you could certainly use that. So that's pretty solid right now. So there is that. So what do we have left here? We have the head for the guy. I am going to use a bit of green stuff for the head. It's a rounded piece. I find rounded pieces don't always hold that well just with green stuff. There's a bit of flashing on the ear, on his little earring right there, so I'm going to take that off. Bit of sanding. And then, yeah, that's about that. Alright, so just a little tiny bit of green stuff and a little bit of glue. So the glue first. Tiny bit of green stuff. Just a little ball worth, you know. Push that in so it doesn't. A bit of glue on the little head knob. Like that. And push it on. Boom, his head is on. There's a bit of green stuff sticking out. Not sure if you can see that right there. Let's see if we can get you an angle where you can see it. Oh, I think this, but yeah, right there. I'm going to file it off after. That's fine. Okay, so the head is done. This is not stable. I'm probably going to go back with a bit of a, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take this off real quickly. Bit of green stuff where it was connecting, because, you know, I want to make sure it stays on. Stuff like this, resin, sometimes the glue doesn't stick to it automatically, and, you know, so like that, and here we go. Let's try it again. The green stuff is there from last time, so it should be good. And this time, yeah, it's not coming off. Boom. Make sure they're matched up. Boom. See, you're going to see a bit of green stuff sticking out right there. That's easy to fix. Once it dries, come back with an exact knife in the file, clip it off. You won't even see that. We're good to go. So that's where we're at so far. All we have left to do is finish off the hands. So there's a couple options. Oh, that's part of this guy. So the first hand right here, that's the little drive shaft thingy. And I'm not exactly sure what this bit is for. To be honest, I'm not even sure if this bit is needed. Yeah, I don't know. I think it looks fine. I don't think that bit's missing anywhere. But let's, of course, glue his hands on because you need some hands to control the thing. So, take that off. Sorry, guys. Flashing, make sure that's gone. Oh, okay. I don't have three hands here. Irvin's just checking out the model. So, like that, and done. Irvin actually figured out where it goes. This piece goes on like so. So we'll glue that there in a second after the hands are going on. Okay, so let's get the first hand on. That's like this. Sweet. A bit of green stuff's going to be needed since this place, it doesn't have a keyhole or anything like that. I guess so, it's not keyed, I could say. And it's also top heavy, right? This bit's heavier than this bit, so it's not going to give the super glue enough a chance to set if it's just super glue to super glue, unless you want to hold it there for a while. And I hate holding bits for some reason. You know, I just rather let the green stuff do the work, and then another bit of glue on top. Now this is a lot of green stuff for this one thing, but like I said, once it's dry, it's just easy to take a file or a little and sand it through. So
sweet and spicy at the same time. It's not bad, I like it.
And there we go. So make sure it's lined up perfectly. Okay, so you're gonna see a bit of green stuff. All I'm gonna do is once this dries, I'm going to take the right there. I'm gonna take the file. And you're not even gonna see it. I'm gonna scrape it off, do a bit of filing, and boom. Once it's primed, you won't even know that has a bit of green stuff on it. And same thing for the other arm, which is right here. Now you want to be careful. a thin bit, so you want to be pretty precise with your cutting. And that's going to happen. When you're cutting with resin stuff, when you're cutting resin, parts are going to fly. So just be careful. Now I'm cutting pretty close to my finger right now. I do have control over the blade. So just, if you want to do that, go for it. But like I said, always be careful. You don't want to have to go to the hospital and explain that you cut your hand by playing with toys, which is the equivalent. Nothing wrong with that, of course, but you know. So this goes in like that. Always dry fit your models. Awesome. Yeah, it's gonna need a bit of green stuff because there is a little gap, but that's okay. That's what green stuff is for. Same thing as before. A bit of glue before your green stuff. And then a bit of green stuff. I'm gonna wet my hands because I don't want it to stick. I'd rather it stick to the model than to my hands. And then don't touch the glue because you don't want fingerprints, but that's easy enough to fix. Oh, there goes that flying piece. Sausage fingers and models sometimes. Okay, got a bit of glue, but that's okay. Rub it off. And then like that. Glue below the green stuff, glue on top of the green stuff. It's going to cure it to a hard plastic. You're going to have a great model. Okay, so fit this little piece in first. That, now push. I don't want to touch the other hand. You always want to be careful that you don't touch a piece you just glued, right? Because if I'm using this piece, pushing on this piece while pushing on this piece, so using this as an anchor, I'm going to push this arm completely off. It's going to wreck any curing. The glue's done. The green stuff is going to get messed up, and it's going to be a lot of work. But anyways, one last piece. My brother was able to figure out this piece. I mean, I guess I could have. This goes on just like this. The other way, actually. Kind of like a little shield. There's a bit of flashing at the end, so let's take our knife. You know what? Don't even need the clippers for that. Just a bit of sanding. Ta-da! Okay, and I'm just going to use glue for this. Green stuff is really not needed. It's all contact. It's going to go on good. Want to make sure I get the right way. Make sure it looks good. Double check. You don't want to play too much with it. You want to kind of let it sit. No, it's this way. That's a good one.
Definitely not. It's that way.
You know what? It's this way. It follows the curve. We're good to go. Bit of a windshield. Not sure how effective that windshield would be. But yeah. And you know what? I said I was going to use plastic cement, but I prime all my bases always. Like I prime, unless I'm going to use a clear acrylic bottom, this part always gets primed, and I'm not going to use a clear acrylic bottom, so I am going to use the super glue. But just be warned that if you use super glue, there is a chance it's going to frost up. I always use a little bit of super glue, so that chances, it might not happen, but it's going to give off fumes, and you know, and especially if you have super glue on your hands and you touch this, even if it's just a bit and you've rubbed it, you're going to leave a print, so be careful. So that's glued, it's plastic, it glues really quickly, you don't really need, so I'm going to try and be not too generous, but enough that it's going to stick, and you always want to make sure you get it right in the center of the base. And let that stand. So
you always don't want it in the center of the base. You want to see where the model sits on the base to be able
well, that's true. For this, you want the center. For like a Stormwolf Flyer, you might want it to be a bit back. So let that dry. So that's pretty solid. It's solid enough that we can test our model on it. Nope, wrong way. And there we have it. I completed a flyer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this tripod. Sorry if you guys see a bit of moving, but, you know, we're hands off the tripod now. Let's zoom. And here we have, try to do this. No. Oh, that's okay. Here we have the completed model. This is very, I mean, it's priced, I think it's 29 pounds or something. Might even be cheaper than that, 19 pounds. It's a great model. It's a sweet looking model. You know what? if you play orcs and you want to, like, this is, in my opinion, way better than any Death Copter model Games Workshop has out. And I mean, if you showed up with this in your game compared to playing just the Death Copter, that'd be cool. This is cool for, like, you could use it as a buggy even, and so forth. You know, right there's a bit of green stuff. That's going to require some filing. Let's just check out the detail here. He's holding the thing down there. Awesome. Underneath, green stuff right there. But all in all, an amazing model. Thank you to the guys at Kromlech. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any suggestions on how I can do a better modeling video, this is going to be called Modeling for Beginners, because I am a beginner at modeling. If you have any suggestions, I'm certainly open to arms. Open to your suggestions. Let me know what you think. And if you want to see something, oh yeah, we just played a game. We didn't record it. We were playing a game for fun, but that's a contempt agenda I had painted. But thank you, Kromlech, and thank you guys for watching another Basement Collective video. If you want to see more like this, let us know, and keep on wargaming.